Hello, how are you doing? I hope you are okay. It is Monday morning here and it's actually not raining, but it's not bright, but it's not raining, and it rained all weekend and I got wet walking the dog, so yeah, that was amazing. How are you all doing? I've been very busy. I've got a finished object. I just finished drying it this morning. And I love it. So this is, let's just get straight into it. This is the Stockholm Slipover by Petite Knits, and this is the first Petite Knits pattern I have knit. I know everybody has been knitting Petite Knit, but I had a big break from knitting and I am back, and yeah, I'm finding lots of nice new pattern designers that I want to knit. But this is in one of my favourite yarns of all time. This is Istek Let Lopey, as my mum calls it, the itchy one. I showed it her last night. She went, "What's that made out of?" And I told her, I said, "Let Lopey." She went, "Which one's that?" And I just put the itchy one. She went, "Oh, okay." She can't stand it. So yeah, let me just stand up. So yes, I've just done my tiptoes a little bit. So I did block it quite a bit for the length, and the armholes I was really worried about when I first knitted it, because it felt like they were right down here, but this binding has really brought it up, and I've just put it on over my t-shirt because I'm a little bit chilly. But no, I really like it, and I think it'll work over vest tops, t-shirts, shirts. But like I said, I get cold but hot. Yes, I'm at that time of life. I did have a hysterectomy quite a few years ago, so that put me straight into the menopause. So it's not, menopausal, premenopausal, whatever it is. I went right into it. So yeah, I don't have any middle ground. I'm hot and cold at the same time. So this is really good for me, because actually it keeps my body warm but lets me feel cold here. Otherwise I just can't find a good medium. I normally end up having, and I don't know whether you guys do, but one arm in my cardigan and one arm out, and I will literally walk around with one arm in and one arm out. So anyway, I would really, really recommend this pattern. It's not the most simple patterns, and I wouldn't say it's beginner friendly, just because of the way it's constructed. And let me take it up and I'll show you what I mean. So one of the main reasons that it's fiddly is this construction. So I hope you can see. Let me change camera view. So can you see here? This is actually where you cast on. You cast on at the back here, and you do this and you go over here. So this, I've never knitted a pattern that did this before, and it was really, really, really interesting and novel, and I really liked the way it actually sits on my shoulders, but it wasn't the most simple, and I don't know whether other people have knit it and felt the same, but I don't know. It took me a while to figure out what she meant and where to start. So I just ended up winging it, and if it hadn't have worked, I'd have ripped back, because you have to do short rows over here. And I didn't know which side I was meant to be on. So luckily I did it right, but that was rather confusing. So it was challenging, but I really enjoyed it. And then the other thing was this, it's got a sewn bind off, and it gives you this really nice edge to the bind off. This body bind off took me forever. I was watching the Tony Robbins free event. I don't know whether anyone else watched it. And it took me one entire session, and I think that was 3 hours. But yeah, it's so worth it, because if you can see, it's just so professional. It's like it wraps the stitch around itself, but it took ages. But I'm not into, you know, just quick knitting, just firing stuff out anymore. Like I said, I've probably had like 40 jumpers in my wardrobe at various times, and I don't need to knit that much, and I don't need to knit that fast. So actually just taking the time to make sure that the finishing is really good and that I'm happy with it, that's what I want to do now. I'm seeing a lot of videos where people are saying how quick can I knit a sweater. If you want to do that, that's fine, but I'd rather just spend time and make sure that it's finished well and how I like it with the correct fit, not how quick I can knit it. I'm not in competition with anyone else, I'm not in competition with myself. But yeah, I really enjoyed this knit, and it's super warm being let lope it. And if you wanted to try let lope it but you're scared of the itch factor, you could actually do this one because it doesn't touch your skin anywhere. So it sits around my neckline of my t-shirt. But it's entirely up to you, but I love let lope it. And I did have quite a bit left actually. I'll show you, I had this left and I had 2 full balls, and then this much left. So I had, you know, a fair amount left of there's my tape measure, I was looking for that before. I've now got 2 in this box. So I didn't actually use that much yardage. So this, I might sell on Vinted, but I love let lope, so I might make my leg warmers out of this, or chuck it in a coloured. I need another structure, because my body has grown since I made my last 2 struckers, so I would like a bigger strucker. I love the way that jumper fits. If you don't know what I mean, I'll put it in the description. It's one of his older Teague's most famous patterns, and I was such a geek, like loads of other geeks, and I went to Iceland and stood in front of the Strucker sign and had a photo taken of me next to the Strucker geezer wearing my Strucker jumper. Anyway, so I might use that in a Strucker. Any excuse for another let lope. But yeah, I really enjoyed doing that, and in between that I've been knitting when like it got to a fiddly bit and I just wanted to knit, and I didn't have the brain space. I've been knitting on, and I don't even know whether I've told you about this, but I decided that I wanted to just make a blanket out of all my, oh there's one of my barber poles as well. Barber strings. I wanted to make a blanket out of all my Jameson and Smith, because I've got tons and tons, and I didn't want to sell it because there are loads of colour work things that I want to knit, but I actually want a blanket that I've knit. I have a woven blanket that somebody else wove for me. I can't remember the name of it, but you sent all your scraps to her and she'd weave it into a blanket. I don't have a blanket that I've knitted myself, so I wanted one, and I wanted it to be in my colour palette, which is greys, greens, browns, mustard yellow, various degrees of sludge. So I picked out all the colours that I would like in the blanket, and I've basically been knitting squares. It's not the most complicated of things, and what I've been doing is I wrote it down. It's just 30 stitches on 3.75 needles, and they look like this. And I thought it'd be quite nice to show it you on this format. This is the recording software that I use for my coaching Planology membership. But I like the camera that comes down so you can actually see more. And basically, at my gauge, I can get 3 squares per 25 gram ball. So they're the colours that I'm doing. And then I'm just going to add these these are just a few that I chucked in the bag. I've got a full other bag of colours that I also want to do. But Jamieson and Smith do some amazing heathered colourways. I mean, this is shade 122 mix, and it's just beautiful. And this one's probably one of my favourites. It's just amazing. And this is shade FC58 mix. I think it's this one knit up. Yeah, it is. It's this one that's knit up here. And I don't know whether you can see, it's got the, oh yeah, you can see really well actually. It's got so many different heathered colours, the blue. I would love a jumper out of this, I've decided. So I think a jumper in this colour, or a cardigan in this colour, that's what I was going to get. I was going to get my beautiful next cardigan to show you. So yeah, this is going to be a blanket. So yeah, three squares per, I think it's 25 grams, 125 yards I'm getting off my gauge. And I weighed each square when I'd done it for the first couple and realised I could quite easily get 3, and I have that much left, but that is not enough to do another square. It's just a little bit short, but I could sell these, I suppose, on Vinted if anybody wants any scraps, or to try some Jamieson and Smith. But yeah, I think it's just when I just want something that I don't have to think about, it's nice. So that's what I'm currently knitting. I just paused to go and get the beautiful next jumper. So this is the beautiful next jumper that I've had for years. It's literally just a normal next cardigan, and this is the one that I wear the hell out of. And I looked at the construction of it, and the reason I love it is because it's big, it's slouchy, it's comfy, the sleeves are such a nice length, but it's a V-neck. And when I've been thinking about what I actually wear in my wardrobe, I wear this to death because it's a V-neck, it sits nice. Some of the other cardigans that are a round neck, I don't really like them for wearing out and about because these bits flap. I like a V-neck cardigan. So that's one of the reasons why this is going to be my next cast on. And this is the Lakes cardigan by Ozetta. And this is a very, very similar construction to that cardigan. So you've got the nice V-neck, you've got 4 buttons, you've got the nice long sleeves. So this is sort of like the new approach to what I'm going to be doing to my knitting. It's making, I'm not just knitting things because everybody else is knitting things. I'm putting things in my wardrobe that I'm going to wear the hell out of. And this is one of them. And this looks like it's got a really nice construction as well, where it's got saddle shoulders. So I'm really excited to knit that. And as I said, I am knitting it in the same colours as that because I really like it. It's out of my wheelhouse colour wise, but well, it's grey, olive grey, but it's putting some colour in there as well. So that is Noro, and it is the Madara, and then it's paired with the Isaga, which is, it's just going to bring out the tone of the grey without damping the colour. And this is alpaca. I got this one from Tribe Yarns. Well done, Millie, for actually completing the world's toughest row and doing it in amazing time, and you know, just being fab. I actually bawled my eyes out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, Millie from Tribe Yarns, she decided that she was going to row the Atlantic solo, and she did, and I bawled my eyes out when she returned back to shore. It was just phenomenal. I'll put a link to that and her coming back in. It was really good. So yeah, I got this from Tribe Yarns, and this is so soft. This is colour ES3. It's the exact same one that's in the pattern. So that is going to be what I'm knitting now. Can't wait to have a new me knitted cardigan, not the next one. So that's going to be exciting. And I've been doing a load of decluttering and sorting. I feel like I'm at a new stage in my life now. I've changed job. Well, I now work for myself for the first time ever. So because I'd had jaw surgery, I'm still a bit swollen here. I had jaw surgery, I had wisdom tooth was causing issues. It was growing this way and it caused a cyst. I've not been able to concentrate very much, so I've just been decluttering and trying to sort stuff, and that's why I'm doing a load of destashing on Vinted. And I cleaned my craft cupboard, which I've not actually done any sewing since I moved down here, which is 4 years ago, and I'd not done any for like a year before that at home. So it was quite interesting looking at how much fabric I've got and things that I was making. And one of the things that I was making, actually, I love lobsters, and I wanted a lobster shirt. So, and I don't even know where I found this fabric from, but it's lobsters, and it's green lobsters, so it's like my favourite colours and my favourite thing. And this, I believe, is an Archer, Grainline Studio Archer. If it's not, I'll let you know. But I made one out of some cheap fabric before I actually made this in the nice fabric, because I don't like making muslins, but I want to make something that I could potentially wear or give it to somebody. It's not, horrific, but it's not something I just throw away. So I make it out of cheaper fabric first before I used my expensive fabric. And this was the first time I'd ever made a shirt, and I don't know whether you can see, but it's got like, where am I going? This is like a dart in the back. It's got the shirt placket here at the back. It's got a full-on collar. It's got button band. It's got these plackets at the side. Proper like, dropping it, collar with inside. This is, I can't sew. But yeah, so, and I thought this might look really nice with this over the top, excuse me. So I'm going to try that after, now that this is dry. So yeah, the only thing I had to finish on this was sew the buttons on. And these buttons I got from Textile Garden, it's called. They're always they were always at Yarndale anyway. I used to get buttons every time I went, and these are just some cute little buttons, and I thought they went quite nicely with the sort of greeny turquoise of the lobsters. And look at them lobsters, just amazing. So yeah, I finished the shirt and it still fits, which I was quite gobsmacked about. Still fits. So I finished that. And I had to buy a new iron because my iron broke, and I wasn't going to replace an iron because I didn't actually need an iron. But now I'm going to do sewing. I had to buy an iron. So I was able to finish that. And then I found this. And I love William Morris. It's one of my favourite designers. And I've made quite a few quilts over the years. I remember seeing a craft program years and years ago, and I saw a quilt that was beautiful, and it was about £500. I think they were selling it for. I think it was on something like Kirsty's Handmade Home years and years and years and years ago, and it was like 500 quid, and I was like, I'm not paying 500 quid, I'll make it myself. So I started figuring out how to quilt, and there's a girl called Leah Day, and she's based in America. She taught me how to quilt and free motion quilt, and she does so much stuff for free. I never paid for any of her courses. I did buy some of her books, just to support her, but she always did like free tutorials and stuff, and I basically learned how to quilt and free motion quilt off her. So I'll link her as well so you can find her if you're interested. But I was making, and this was, I think it was a Fat Quarters pack of William Morris prints, and I think I would have got it from the Village Haberdashery, which I think is now closed. But I'm sure you'll be able to find layer cakes, I think they were called. So yeah, this is what I had been finishing, but working on, and then just stopped because I moved. So this is quite big, and it is all the William Morris prints. Let me see if I stand back here a bit. Can you see how big it is? You can't even see on there. It's big. So yeah, and I was when I looked at it, I was like, well, I was quite good actually at making quilts and stuff. So this is the back of my quilt, the quilt top they call this. So yeah, look at my sewing there. I was like, bloody hell, that's pretty good. So yeah, and some of these designs are absolutely amazing. So, and it inspired me that much that I have now got some wallpaper to decorate my hallway in William Morris, and it's called the Strawberry Thief. I don't know whether it's on here, the Strawberry Thief, but it's beautiful. If you're interested, they sell it at B&Q in the UK. And it was the cheapest that I could find. It was £40 a roll, but my hallway is tiny. So yeah, it's not actually going to cost that much to do, but I love William Morris. I absolutely love it. And I just found out that at the museum near me, they did an exhibition of his daughter's stuff, and I didn't know, and I was gutted, because I'd have loved to have seen that and gone to that. So seeing all my fabric and what I was sewing and all the patterns I had, it inspired me to start sewing again. So I'm going to finish. This is going to be finished at some point. And I've rewashed all my fabric because it's been in there for God knows how long. So that's being all sorted, washed, pressed, all that good stuff. And I'm going to make the hinterland dress. And the hinterland dress is by So Liberated. And this is a really good pattern because there's 3 different designs in there, and I think you can even use it to make just a skirt. So this is still for sale, and I probably bought this about 8-9 years ago, but this is still for sale. So if you did want one, then you can still get it. And I'm going to make some Hudson pants, I think they're called. They're like a jogging pant, but I love a jogging pant for just sitting watching TV. And I've got some really nice cotton and steel fabrics, and just some general jersey that I picked up that I thought would be really good for like pyjama pants. So I'm going to make those, because I'm kind of sick of buying t-shirts and you wash it and there's a hole in, or you buy some pants, you wash it, there's a hole in it. It's just ridiculous. So I'm going to make my own and get back to that. So I don't think I've got much else to show you, because I am now about to cast on for the Lakes cardigan. And what I really like about that as well is it says to do your swatch as part of the saddle shoulder. Love that. So yeah, I will see how far I get with that, and I just want to share this with you. This is my Christmas present, because somebody gave me some money, and then I used some of my Vinted money from my yarn and sewing bits that I've been selling, and bought these. Now I've just done a video with a full tour of this. It smells. delicious. The pages just came this morning, so I just did a setup video and to show you exactly what you get in this new mini binder. This is all bought with my money. I didn't do any ads or gifts or anything, but yeah, that is live. So if you want to have a look at this, then please let me know what you think. So I will speak to you again next week, and hopefully be able to show you some progress that I've made with my Lakes cardigan. So yeah, have a nice week, and I will see you soon. Bye.